Oh, hello. Did you know that right now there are many top-tier modern decks that cost more or less the same as a standard deck? No, wait, it's true. The current standard deck cost spectrum runs between $120, that's the low end of decks like mono white and mono red builds, all the way up to $375, which is the high end decks like Sultai Control, mono green mid-range, and Temur Ramp. So $125 to $375 for a standard deck. But take a look at what's going on in Modern. Now, the majority of Modern decks actually fall in the range of about $675. So that's the cost of two standard decks. The top of the Modern spectrum, where there's more than a few decks, up to a whopping $1,275. Those are things like Jund, Death's Shadow, and Azurius Control. But if we look on the low end, and I'm not talking budget builds, I'm talking full-on top-tier decks like Modern Blitz 375. That's the high end of standard decks. Except in Modern, you own it and you get to play it for life, because there's no rotation. What's more, a mono red build in Modern is only about $175. And again, that's not the budget version. That's taking into account a full playset of Blood Moons. But you can also get fancy with Boros Burn or even Naya Burn in the $275 range, still well within the standard price spectrum. Modern decks like Bogles, Ad Nauseam, and Hardened Scales are about $375 as well. And then returning to that host of decks in the $600 range, well, you know what? Those prices are almost entirely tied up in, yep, you guessed it, fetch lands. Not to mention Cavern of Souls and a few other pricey lands. But without those mana bases, the rest of the deck becomes quite affordable. In fact, the top two decks in the format right now, Heliod and Amulet Titan, not to mention countless others that are in that price range, would still come down to the $375 range for the non-mana based cards. So what I'm saying is, there has never been a better time to get into Modern, where you can put together your choice from a fine selection of decks for the same as a high-end standard deck, or just put that money towards a not quite yet fully optimized Modern deck, and then build up, trade up towards those key land optimizations over time. Okay, that's it. That's the intro to the video. There's no jokes this time, no skits. I really love Modern, so it's just that message. Modern really is within your grasp for the price of 1 to 2 of those rotating band magnet standard decks. Well, presented here in this video are the top 5 cards from Strixhaven likely to see Modern play, as well as an honorary mention. But first, a quick word about this video. This video is brought to you by Raycons. Now, you probably already know Raycons as the wireless earbuds that are comfortable, have the most wonderful customizable fit, no ridiculous dangling wires, and are available in a wide variety of colors. Okay, I just went with plain black here, but there's more lively options out there. But did you also know that wireless earbuds like these are great for when you just want to unplug from screens? You know, it has indeed been quite the year, and a lot of us have found ourselves absolutely submerged in screens and looking for other ways to unplug and just move. That's what I like about Raycon earbuds. They let me feel totally unplugged, whether I'm enjoying my favorite music, or working out, or just going for a stroll listening to my favorite content or audiobooks. Raycon earbuds give me that freedom. Think about how much you can do if you are unplugged from screens as well. Think about it after you finish watching this video. Oh, or close it and then click on it a second time and listen to it. Listen on your Raycons! So go to buyraycon.com/Tolarian community or click the link in the description now to get 15% off your order. Raycons have a 45-day free return policy, so there's no risk. So why not click the link and see the prices for yourself? And you'll be helping the channel when you do. Before I even get to my honorable mention, I need to talk about Abundant Harvest. This is an excellent card, and I can't wait to evaluate its potential impact in Modern. But wait is what I shall have to do, because despite this card being in Strixhaven as a mythical archive, archive card, it is not a part of Strixhaven. In fact, Abundant Harvest is actually a coming attraction, a preview of a future set. yet, as Abundant Harvest will be in Modern Horizons 2, and won't be legal in Modern until Modern Horizons 2 releases. Thus, I did not include it in my pool of potential Strixhaven cards that would see Modern play. What I did include as an honorable mention, however, is Paulo Vitor Dama de Rosa. Our world champion of Magic the Gathering is a human cleric who costs 2 generic and a white, and has flying. When Paulo Vitor Dama de Rosa enters the battlefield, look at target opponent's hand. You may exile a non-land card from it. For as long as that card remains exiled, its owners may play it. A spell cast this way costs 2 more to cast. If Paulo wasn't a Modern Death and Taxes player, well, he is now, because that's exactly where I see this card going. In a deck that uses and enjoys everything from Giver of Runes to Leonin Arbiter, Paulo slots right in nicely on curve, offering you yet another taxing trial upon your opponent that is similar in many ways to Thalia. Hits anything non-land, and when the two are used together can make spells like Thoughtseize and Lightning Bolt cost as much as 4. Now the reason this card is still just an honorary mention largely has to do with the fact Paulo lacks flash, which hinders it greatly, and is the most distinct thing keeping this from essentially being a Vendilion click, only in white. I don't feel confident Modern Humans is going to want it either. So that means it has a narrow slot in an already struggling deck, and so while Paulo is indeed a wild and exciting card in its own right, the impact in Modern is just honorary. So let's start out the proper list with a spell that has finally shattered Disenchant's dominance in Orzhov lists. And that spell is Fracture. Fracture is an instant for a white and a black. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or planeswalker. Swish! We're finally seeing some solid answers to those oh-so-pesky planeswalkers. I can't imagine a deck in white and black that isn't going to want to run this. 2 mana instant speed planeswalker removal by itself is welcome, but the added versatility of hitting an enchantment or artifact as well just seals the deal. I think this is nice enough removal that even Esper variants will want to take a look, from Control to Stoneblade builds. I have no doubt in my mind that Fracture is going to make an impact where it counts. But moving along to number 4 on our list is a card I have discovered will give you quite the thrill if you are a Dredge player. And that card is Thrilling Discovery. Thrilling Discovery is a red and a white for a sorcery. You gain 2 life. Then you may discard 2 cards. If you do, draw 3 cards. The immediate card of comparison here is obviously Cathartic Reunion. And now thanks to Thrilling Discovery, you too can hug your mom 8 times per deck. Wow, says Dredge. That is really going to give our deck incredible consistency, and it all but ensures a turn 2 hit. The added life gain is just gravy and helps offset the fact that, yes, if this gets countered, it is a bit worse for you than if Reunion does. But ultimately, I think Dredge will happily toss out cards like Merchant of the Veil to make room for this beauty. It's also possible to see play anywhere else Reunion effects are used, from Is It Phoenix in Pioneer to Grixis and Doomday decks in Legacy. So even outside of Modern, this may just be the hot card from Strixhaven. Moving on to number 3 on my list of cards from Strixhaven for Modern, we have a spell that is going to rip your established removal apart. And that card is Rip Apart. More Boros bang for your buck. Rip Apart is a red and a white for a sorcery. Choose one. Rip Apart deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker, or destroy target artifact or enchantment. The removal's so nice it's replacing other removal not once but twice. Namely, I think this is a much better option to Wear and Tear, as well as Smash to Smithereens. Obviously, in terms of Smash, you are going from a mono-red casting cost to red-white. But most burn in Modern that isn't budget is in Boros or Naya anyway. And the big disadvantage over Wear and Tear is that this is at sorcery speed, but getting the added 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker is well worth it, at the very least as a sideboard option. I don't mean to imply that this being sorcery speed is irrelevant. Look, as soon as a Blood Moon resolves against you, then yeah, it's gonna feel very relevant. But as always, in Modern, the sideboard is half the game, and picking the precision tool to out-sideboard your opponent is key, and Rip Apart gives far more precision and versatility than Wear and Tear by far. Okay, we're into the top 2 cards for the format from Strixhaven, and wow, they are some doozies. Coming in at number 2 was the preview card of friend of the channel, Vince, otherwise known as Pleasant Kenobi, who was so excited that he got a relevant, powerful white hate bear card that he apparently created for the first time ever an entire YouTube channel just to upload a video to. I'd link it, but you don't really need to go see it because I'm just going to tell you what the card is now. All right, go watch it and give him the click. But the card's Strict Proctor. Strict Proctor is 1 and a white for a spirit cleric. It has flying. But what really matters is that whenever a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability to trigger, counter that ability unless its controller pays 2. Casting cost is 2 on this. It's only 2 mana. Folks, young and old, we have a new hate bear in Modern. And if you don't know what a hate bear is, maybe you need to watch my video on MTG slang. But speaking honestly, Strict Proctor is truly going to be wanted in a lot of decks, because it stops everything from, well, Valakut to Stoneforge Mystic to Primeval Titan to oh so much more. But also the symmetrical nature of it means we can pack cards in our own deck that only get stronger by having their enter the battlefield trigger countered. Drop a Boros Garrison, but don't worry about returning a land to your hand because, yep, that's a counterin'. No more skipping your next few turns with Eater of Days. Not that you were running Eater of Days, but maybe now you will. The list goes on and on. There's going to be a lot of creative juices flowing and a lot of crazy enter the battlefield effects squelched in Modern games to come. It's even a spirit, meaning Modern spirits might find a home for it. Though of course, from spirits to Death and Taxes builds, watching out that Strict Proctor doesn't shut your own effects down is going to be key. So what's my number 1 pick for Modern from Strixhaven? Well, Vince's preview card was number 2, so it's only fitting that my preview card is number 1, and that card, of course, is... Oh, that's right. I wasn't offered a preview card for Strixhaven. It's the Magic College set, and Tolarian Community College wasn't invited to participate in previewing the set. There's literally a card called Professor's Warning, and they just dumped it out on the full set reveal day. That's right, they'd rather just post Professor's Warning without anyone previewing that card than have the largest Magic the Gathering YouTube channel craft a free advertisement for their new set. I didn't even get a box of scarves. But am I bitter? No, I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter at all. In unrelated news, I've been very generously given a preview card for the upcoming Flesh and Blood set. Monarch, be sure to mark your calendars. Oh, I better make a learn how to play Flesh and Blood video first, though. Gotta make sure everyone knows how to play that great game before I hype folks about the new set coming out. Ahem. Anyway, Modern, Strixhaven, number 1 pick. It's a tie between Clever Luminancer and Leonin Lightscribe. Clever Luminancer is a single white for a human wizard with Magecraft. Magecraft, of course, means that Clever Luminancer gets +2/+2 so long as you control 3 or more artifacts. No, wait, that's Metalcraft. Magecraft is much better because it means whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, Luminancer gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Oh, baby. And Leonin Lightscribe is 1 and a white for a cat cleric that also has Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Prowess decks rejoice. With these 2 new cards, Modern Prowess is top of the menu. Clever Luminancer is an upgrade to the classic Kiln Fiend, where it gives a boost to toughness as well as power, which is going to make all the difference in the world. With cards like Manamorphose, Lightning Bolt, and of course Monastery Swift Sphere already powerhouses in Modern, we can potentially ram through a turn 2 or 3 win without breaking much of a sweat. And Leonin Lightscribe just further adds to our arsenal. It's at a converted mana cost of 2, so with Luris as our companion, we can light up the stage with other winners like Soulscar Mage, and become the new Boros Prowess Sage. Either one of these cards would be great, but Strixhaven gives both of them to us, so it's just a no-brainer, and they're tied for my number 1 pick for Modern from Strixhaven. I hope very much this video has been of some help to you, and I hope very much you will consider looking into the Modern format if you are not already enjoying it. It has never been in a better place, so it's just right for us to buy into it and then have the entire meta destroyed by Modern Horizons 2 when Modern essentially rotates. Oh my god, it's true! Let me know in the comments below what cards from Strixhaven you think will see play in Modern, either before or after the release of Modern Horizons 2. Why are they doing this to me? Hey, it's great. And special thanks once again to Raycon for sponsoring this video. Remember, you can go to buyraycon.com/Tolarian community or click on the link in this description now to get 15% off your order. Thank you, Raycon, not just for providing this great deal to my viewers, but also for sponsoring this video.